back to my channel. In today's video, I am sharing with you my travel makeup. So this is everything that I took with me on my 6.5-week trip to Europe. I thought you guys might like to see what I took with me, what I've completely used up, and all of the products that I didn't even touch on my trip. So if you want to see what I took with me makeup and beauty wise, then stay tuned. But before we get into the video, if you are new around here and you love watching makeup related content or project painting related content, make sure you subscribe down below. And without further ado, let's jump on into the video. So this is everything that I took with me in my carry-on. This is my carry-on skincare beauty stuff, my stuff that I put in my checked in, and everything else. So this is beauty, hair care, makeup, all of that jazz is everything here. So I just want to start off by getting some big items out of the way, I guess. First up, I did end up taking my Dyson Airwrap with me. I only took these two attachments though. I took this one because it's just a lot easier, I feel, than using hotel hair dryers, and this whole thing is quite light, and also it just dries my hair super quickly. So I did end up taking my Airwrap arm, the diffuser attachment, and then just the blow dryer attachment for quick easy blow dries when I didn't want to bother curling my hair. So that was probably the biggest thing, but it is super easy to disconnect and just shove in your bag. So it was pretty easy. This is probably excessive. Most of you probably think it's excessive, but I did take 2 brushes with me. First up is my wet brush. I use this as everyday hair brushing and detangling. I just find it's the best for that, and for my curly hair it's the most gentle for detangling. I did also take my bounce curl brush. So this is the Bounce Curl Define Edge Lift brush, and I use this to help style my curly hair. I find that this particular brush and the style of brushes with the grooves along the edge really helps me define my curls and get a great result for my curls. So not really an option, but the reason why I did take 2 brushes is I don't like this particular brush for detangling my hair. I find it too harsh to detangle my hair. I just know it's not really designed for detangling, and curly hair, for those of you that don't know, it can be quite intense to detangle. So that's why I took my wet brush, a lot more gentle on the hair. And if you're putting gel and stuff and products in your curls and leaving your curls for a couple of days before brushing, it can be pretty intense and painful. So definitely better to take a nicer brush on your hair than one that isn't. And these both, I mean, they didn't take up that much weight. All in all, this may seem very excessive, but I was actually underweight going and coming home. So I feel like I did a pretty good job. I did also take both of these. So I took my Perfect Hair drying towel. I use this to dry my hair, and I scrunch my curls in this. I find it the best in terms of absorbency and gentleness on my hair, and it's super light, so it didn't really take up any room or weight in my bag. So I brought this with me. I also brought a hair wrap, not this particular one, but I did bring a hair wrap with me. So this is just a satin scarf. I brought a set of 2 off Amazon. I brought one of them with me, and I just used it to tie my hair up for bed of a night time to protect my curls. I didn't take this particular one. I did take my other one, and I left it at one of the hotels along the way. It was 2 weeks into my 6-week trip, so I had to improvise for the rest of the trip. But unfortunately now I only have one, where I used to have 2 scarves to wrap my hair up. Now unfortunately I've only got one. Annoying. And I still don't actually remember which particular hotel I left that hair wrap in, but it's all right. This guy just lives permanently in my hiking backpack. So this is the Summer Fridays Lip Balm Butter. This one is in the color Brown Sugar. This is the perfect size. My particular hiking bag. It doesn't have the biggest pockets on the waist strap. So this one is the perfect size for that particular pocket. So I just leave this in that bag. And then once I finish this one, I'll just sub it out with one of the other ones that I got in the Summer Fridays set from Christmas last year. But they're the perfect size for any kind of bag that you have that only has like small pockets. These I would recommend. This guy here, I picked up just before I left. This is the Marc Daniels Professional Go Curly Original Formula Hold Hair Gel. It's not the greatest, but I made do while I was there, and I will finish it up. But this one just went loose in my bag because there wasn't any room in here, and I didn't want to take it in my carry-on because it's too big of a bottle. So I just let it loose in my bag. So let's start moving into this one. So this is one of my like just zip pouches that I have in my makeup kit. That's where I got this one from. It is from, I can't remember what the actual brand is called, but I will leave a link down below if they sell these pouches individually. I think they do, but I just find this is like the best way for me that I have found. I personally prefer it like this, and it just kind of all sits in there nicely, and I can still kind of rummage around in there. It has a clear top and it's easy to clean. It's lined, it's plastic, it's easy to clean, and it also holds quite a lot. So in here I have a mixture of makeup, skincare, and kind of body stuff. There are also in here products that I did use up while I was overseas. So I took with me this Hemp's Citrus Blossom body lotion. This smells amazing. I actually brought this when we were in America. It's one of the like, you know, brands that you can get in America that you can't get in Australia type deal. This is an amazing scent, the Citrus Blossom. I liked the formula, and having this like little nice size was perfect. I, ever since that American trip, had kept it just in my travel makeup bag as like a ready to go kind of deal. I have a few things that I just leave in my travel makeup bag, and this was one of them. I actually have finished this up now. I would definitely repurchase it if I could. I think maybe you might be able to get Hemp's from iHerb. I'd have to check it out, but this particular scent was very enjoyable and I really liked it. Okay, next up we have Briogeo Don't Despair Repair. This is a 59ml bottle. I actually thought there was a lot more left in this bottle than there actually was. And I actually finished this one quite early in my trip. I don't know why I didn't think about it before I left, but I just assumed this would be enough to last me for the whole 6 weeks, but it really wasn't. So I did actually have to buy another conditioner while I was over there. But I did enjoy this one nonetheless. I think it's a great little deep conditioning mask. Since buying this though, I have found other conditioning masks that I prefer, but they're not as travel friendly as this one. So I would probably pick this size up again in the future. But for now, there's no need for me to have this particular product. This was another one that I purchased just before I left, just because I wanted to make sure I had enough body lotion and whatnot for myself while I was away. So this is the Soap & Glory, the Righteous Butter Body Butter. This is a 50ml jar. I got this one from Mecca and I really liked the formula. I didn't quite have enough body lotion between the Hemp's, this, and the next one, but I made do and I was able to just use it up and not have to buy any extra body lotion while I was away. But I did enjoy this one. This size is great if you're going away, but it's probably nowhere near enough for a 6-week holiday. If you're going away for the 6 weeks, I probably would just recommend, if you're wanting to buy before you go, I would just recommend getting one of the full-size tubs and taking it with you. I did kind of use this trip as a little bit of a way to use up some of like my samples that I had lying around, but between all of them, in some categories, it wasn't quite enough to make do. I did also take this jar of Bum Bum Cream with me. This one is the smallest size you can get. This is the 25ml. It's just a size that usually comes in Beauty Loop boxes. So again, it wasn't quite enough to make do. I think it actually only lasted me maybe like 1 or 2 days, which unfortunately nowhere near enough, but got it finished. It is what it is. Oh, there's actually a little bit left in there. I had no idea. Okay, I'm going to have to use that later tonight. I had no idea that there was a little bit more left in there. I also took cleanser, obviously, but I did fill this up from my big pump bottle in the shower just before I left. So it was the Dermalogica Special Cleansing Gel. I filled this one up. Basically, I think it was about to here or something, and it was only just enough for the trip. I wish I filled it all the way to the top. I don't know why I didn't. But stupidly, I didn't. But I will be reusing this bottle again, obviously. Another one that I purchased just before I left, this is a Slow and Glory Clean On Me Hydrating Body Wash. This as well was only just quite enough to get me through my trip. When there were some days when the hotels had nice smelling body wash that I liked, I would opt to use that. But for the most part, I was using this one solely, and then there was a few times, like I said, I opted for the hotel because it smelled nice. I think I was left for the last maybe 5 days without body wash, but obviously there was always other options available. But in terms of using this solely for the trip, it's not quite enough for 6 weeks. I also used up this one. This is the Tatcha, the Silk Cream. I was using this one on my face well, basically from the start until I used this one up completely. While I was over there, my skin was really struggling. It was going through, I don't know, I think it was just because change of weather. I'd just come from Australia in the dead of winter over to Europe in the middle of summer with some pretty hot days. And then also combined with like sun exposure, I think my skin was really struggling, and it took a couple of weeks for it to come back normal. I had some pretty dry, gross skin for a little while, but once it came good, it did finally come good. It just took a little while to get there, and it's just annoying when you're overseas and you don't have like your arsenal that you usually use to revive your skin. Unfortunately, I didn't have that with me, so it made it a little bit more difficult to, just get back through those stages back to normal a lot longer than it ordinarily would take. I also took shampoo. This is another one that I didn't fill up the bottle entirely all the way to the top. I left a bit of a gap in it, and because of that, I think I was maybe 2 or 3 hair washes short of shampoo, so I did have to borrow some. This is I think it's called the Essence peppermint shampoo or something like that. It's like a natural shampoo. I have a credit at a local hairdresser here, and that's the main brand they use. I used to love this particular shampoo, but I don't think my hair really enjoys it as much as it used to. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to get something else. But I do have the rest of this bottle, and I also have some more credit at that particular hairdresser. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But again, if I filled this up all the way to the top, and probably if it was a shampoo that foamed properly, I would have had enough to get me through the 6 weeks. But because I didn't fill it all the way, I was short by a couple of hair washes. I also took this bottle. Now, this bottle does say it's argan oil, but I actually fill this up with just some of my hair oil that I have. My go-to one at the moment is the Olaplex hair oil. So I just fill this up. I decant it from the Olaplex bottle and put it in this one, and then I just drop it out onto my hand from this bottle. Just because it's smaller, it's a lot easier to travel, and if this gets broken, it's not as like heartbreaking as like an entire bottle of Olaplex oil. So I didn't refill this one before I left, so I was very short with how much I needed it on this one. Unfortunately, I really should have filled it up a bit before I left, but stupidly I didn't. Let's talk about this one. Big controversy with this brand at the moment. This is the Ultraviolet Extreme Screen Hydrating Body and Hand Skin Screen. This bottle is nearly finished. It's probably got maybe 1 or 2 uses left in it. I really like this sunscreen. I have used it before. I also have the big pump bottle. I know there's a lot of controversy going on with ultraviolet at the moment and the choice testing and all of that. I do have some other ultraviolet products left in my collection. Like I said, I've got the full size of this one in the big pump bottle, and I also have the facial sunscreen that you'll see soon that I haven't finished yet. I haven't had any problems with this particular product and the other one. And I am very pale and I burn very easily. And I find when I use this product, I'm okay. So I'm going to continue to use it. And I haven't seen any issues as yet with like this particular sunscreen. This one wasn't tested as part of the choice testing. And also the one that I use on my face also wasn't tested as part of the choice testing. So for the time being, I am going to at least use up the products that I have. And then once I use those up, I might maybe have a look around to see what else is out there and check more sources for the testing. I really hope that Ultraviolet go and do some more independent testing on the rest of their range, because I know there's a lot of people that are very cautious and wary of their brand at the moment, given the results from the choice testing. Also in here, we have a lot of products that I didn't touch at all while I was away. So the truth of the matter is I went away for 6.5 weeks to Europe, and I had every intention of using my makeup while I was there. I had every intention of using my Project Pan items while I was there, and I did not wear makeup one single time while I was away on my trip in Europe. So I brought all of this makeup and I didn't use it. It stayed in this bag the entire time. And I'm annoyed, I guess, by the fact that I did bring so much makeup with me with the intention of doing my makeup a lot. But I'm also like not mad at the fact that I didn't wear makeup at all. I was very much living like in the moment when I was in Europe, and the moment never really gave me enough time to like do a full face of makeup. And I'm not mad about that. I think I would have been annoyed at myself if I was constantly being like, no, we can't go out yet. I've got to put my makeup on. So all of this stuff, which I took 3 eyeshadow palettes thinking that I would actually use them and be able to get like enough uses on these palettes to get some uses up on my Project Pans. I took the Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette because this is in my Project Level Up. I took the Nabla Cutie palette because this color here is currently in my Pan Those eyeshadows. And then I just took the Glaminatrix palette. This is the Elegant Eyes, just because it's such a beautiful and easy palette to wear and use. Probably quite excessive taking 3 eyeshadow palettes, but I opted for some of the smallest ones in my collection. So it gave me a little bit of variety and options, but only took up like quite a small amount of room in my bag. On that token, I took all of this makeup: Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer, Benefit Browsing, Milani Luminoso Blush, didn't use them. Kester Black, I don't even know, Kester Black Swipe Up Mascara, NARS Anita Audacious Lipstick, Natasha Denona High Glam, it is the High Glam Concealer, Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. I threw this one in thinking that it would be like summer, and this one would be a nice like throw on and go out the door kind of product. And I never even wanted to put makeup on, so I didn't use it. I also took the House Labs Triclone foundation. This one I introduced into my Project Pan just before I left, and I thought it would be nice to take it with me if I wanted to go out and like have my makeup really nice for dinner one night. I would have it with me as an option, and I didn't bloody well use it. NARS Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Primer, didn't use. I brought this just before I left thinking I need a face powder that's easy to transport and use, and it's compact, and I still haven't used it. Not once. Went out and brought this, especially at Mecca, like 2 days before I left, and never used it. What else do we have in here? I have my Burmese Dream lip oil in Gold Digger. This stayed in my handbag for most of the trip until it got to the point where I couldn't get any more product out because I'd used so much up. So I do still have quite a lot of product in there, but while I was over there, I wasn't able to get the stopper out to like move all the product around. So once it got to the point where I couldn't use it, I swapped it out back into this bag for another product. Diva Curl Styling Cream. I did use this one a little bit every time I wanted to redo my hair. I grabbed this one out. I managed to use up the Byredo Gypsy Water travel size that I had. There was like maybe half to a quarter left on that one. Because I didn't wear makeup, I didn't need to use this product at all. This is a travel size of the Shooterima Ultimate Cleansing Oil. This product just usually lives in my like travel bag. So generally I've got one ready to go in my travel bag before I pack up. I also took my little razor. This is my little Venus travel razor. And I just buy like new heads and swap them out when I need. I also threw in my Makeup Forever powder puff because I thought it would be easier to use this with the airbrush powder if I needed to. Obviously, hair ties are always an essential when you have hair slightly longer. I've also got some allergy medication. This as well always stays in my bag. I never know quite when I need this, so I always try and keep like sheets of this in important locations just in case I forget to put some or restock some. I've then at least got some somewhere. I quite often get like hay fever allergies, and I also do have some other like food allergies that can creep up on me. So these are always good to have just handy as I need. Also, just some random supplies. I've got some nail cutters, some tweezers, and a nail file, always handy to have, ready to go. Last few items, I did buy a new Maybelline Hyper Sharp Wing eyeliner before I left, and again, I didn't even use this one. And also the Tower 28 lip gloss, didn't grab this one out either. I was just really just sticking to my lip oils and loving life. I've also got a Origins 10-minute rescue mask. This is just a sample, and this actually came in handy quite a few times with my skin that was having a little freak out. I don't know what was going on, but this came to the rescue on more than one occasion. And also, this is embarrassing. That's everything that went in this particular bag, and it kind of just all gets just shoved in there, really. If I'm honest, I don't really have any particular system or method for packing it. I just kind of shove it in and try and zip it up, and if I can get it zipped, then we're on to a winner. Other items that I took. I did take some makeup brushes because I was under the assumption that I would do my makeup, and I didn't. So I took a fairly generous handful of brushes, probably way more than I needed to, but I took a blush brush, I took a bronzer brush, I took a powder brush, I took a brush that I use to like blend out edges with bronzers and blushes, under eye setting brush, brow brush, and then a whole heap of eyeshadow brushes. So pencil brush, I like to use this for outer corner, blending brushes, and like shimmer shadow application brushes. So I took a lot. How many? 11. I don't know if I necessarily needed 11 eyeshadow brushes when I only took like neutral eyeshadow palettes and like pink cleaning eyeshadow palettes. This is probably excessive. I do like taking a variety of blending brushes, but this probably was a little bit excessive. I also took this Charlotte Tilbury face palette. This is the Nude Gasm face palette. I took this because the highlighter is beautiful and so is the blush, and I thought if I wanted something different instead of Luminoso and Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer, this would give me a little bit of variety, and it always looks beautiful on the skin. And I thought, given we were going somewhere that was in the summer, it would look really nice on the skin, but again, didn't even use it. All right, this is basically what I took in my carry-on, in my very classy free Ziploc bag that I got at the airport. So let's see what's in here. So I got another one of my Burmese Dream lip oils. This one is in Juicy. I am like 3/4 of the way through this one, but I subbed this one out with Gold Digger when Gold Digger was getting difficult to get product out. We obviously have deodorant, Rexona Clinical Protection. This was amazing while I was in the very hot climate and always works amazing in summer. This one was slightly bigger than customs allows you to carry on, but I snuck it in. I also took this eye cream. So this is the Beauty of Joseon Revive Eye Serum. It was a really nice product. Still haven't finished that one. It's lasted me ages. Sunscreen, I took the Ultraviolet Supreme Screen Hydrating Facial Skin Screen. I've used this product for years and years and years. I really enjoy this particular sunscreen. Like I said, hay fever also comes with very sensitive eyes. My eyes are always irritated. So this is my eye drop of choice. It's like an antihistamine and eye drops, Zaditons. I always have a bottle of this somewhere in my like carry-on or my toiletries bag. I brought a little bottle of Batiste before I left, and boy did I give this a good workout, because there were some days there where I really didn't want to wash my hair, so I gave this a good workout. I managed to use up, this was, I think I had maybe like 4 to 5 days left in this one when I got back, but this size of facial oil, 30 mils go to for the 6 weeks, was the perfect size because I only had a very tiny amount left when I got back. Along with this one, so once I finished using up the Tarte Jar, I moved on to this one. So this is the Youth to the People Superfood Air Whipped Moisture Cream. This is the like travel size that came in one of their like sample sets. I will say before I left, however, I depotted some more from the large size into this bottle. So it was sitting like full to the brim before we left. And when I got back, there was maybe like 4 days worth left in the tub. I used up the Bal de Freak Eau de Parfum in my travel size. There was about a quarter left in this one. And I also used up this mini. This one was full before I left. Dental floss, no brainer. Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask in the grapefruit. This one is another one that I just always leave in my travel bag. I find it a total lifesaver when my lips are feeling very dry. So I would really recommend this product. This is one of my favorite like lip masks out there. I also took this sample, like I said, I brought a sample set of the from Youth to the People. This came in it, and I took it with me specifically for my trip. This was 8 mils. It did not last me long enough for the 6 weeks. It probably lasted me maybe 2 weeks. But once I finished this one, I didn't have a vitamin C serum. My little mini that I have of the Dermalogica Daily Microfoliant, I only use this a handful of times, but I do find that every now and then my skin just needs a little bit of a gentle scrub, and I like that this has the physical and like the slight chemical to it. So I just keep this as well in my travel like toiletries bag, and it just sits there. It'll stay there until I have it completely used up. Toothpaste, duh. The Youth to the People Dream Eye Cream. I don't know why I took 2 eye creams. I thought that maybe I would use one up. But this one in particular is quite thick. So I didn't need much every time I used it. And I think I barely made a dent in it. So I'll finish that one up now that I'm home. And I also took this mini of the Mario Badescu Gentle Foaming Cleanser. I put this one in my carry-on because I thought that I would actually use it up. I did use it a few times, but I basically left it in my carry-on. I wanted to have like a little mini face cleanser available for the trip to and from Europe on the plane. So I only used it a handful of times and I didn't manage to get it completely used up. And that's it. So I did also take obviously a toothbrush. that was just lying in my carry-on in one of the pockets because I don't want to show you my toothbrush. That's a bit weird. And I also took a beauty blender with me. It's now dirty because I've started using it now that I'm back home. So I don't think you want to see my dirty beauty blender either. But I didn't use the beauty blender while I was over there because, like I've said, didn't wear any makeup while I was over there. So that's everything that I took with me while I was on my 6-week overseas trip to Europe. I don't know if this is helpful for you. I know that this is probably a gross overpacking of things and stuff to take overseas. I was conscious of the fact that I was going for 6 weeks, so I wasn't quite sure what kind of situations we would find ourselves in. I guess my lessons learned is be realistic about how much makeup you're actually going to wear while you're overseas, and also like don't be ashamed of not wearing makeup while you're overseas, because I did it and I had the best time ever. That is everything that I took with me to Europe for 6 weeks, everything that I didn't use and everything that I used up. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe down below if you did enjoy this video and you want to keep up to date on all my future videos. That's it for this video, beautiful. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. I hope that you are staying safe and healthy and looking after yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, beautiful.